and welcome to this live. In this live today, I'm going to be talking to you about all of the lessons that I learned in 2025 that have allowed me to thrive and not just survive. If that is going to be of value to you, just write yes in the chat. If you're joining me, wherever you're joining me from, let me know where you're tuning in from. Are you in the UK? Are you in the US of A? Are you in Australasia? Are you in Asia? Let me know where you are tuning in from. Let's even get this a bit more interactive for those of you who are joining me on the social media network platforms. We've got the map up. So wherever you are, whatever platform you're in, if you're in Instagram, let me know. If you're in TikTok, let me know. If you're in Facebook, let me know. If you're in YouTube, let me know. And let me know where you're tuning in from. So literally indicate inside of the chat where you're tuning in from. Are you in the UK? Are you in the US of A? Are you in Australasia? Are you in Asia? Let me know inside of the chat where you are joining us from, because today's session is going to be super valuable. We're going to be getting insightful. We're going to be sharing with you some insight, some hindsight, some foresight in order for you to have oversight on your journey. Okay, so as you jump in, just let me know where you're tuning in from. Are you in the UK? Are you in the US of A? Are you in Australasia? Are you in Asia? Let us know by literally taking advantage of the conversation inside of the chat, so you can help us know where you are tuning in from. All right, now with that being said, what I want to do is I want to jump straight into today's session, because we've got a lot to share with you and we don't have too much time. So if there's anyone who's ready for us to jump straight in, just throw in the word ready. If you're ready for us to jump straight in today's class, just throw in the word ready, and then I know you guys are going to be ready and we can jump straight in to what we're going to be sharing with you in today's session. So let me see the readies, let me see the readies, let me see the readies, let me see the readies for everyone who is ready. Let's see who's going to be the first one to throw their ready inside of the chat, so we can go off of that. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's see if we're getting those readies in the chat. Let's see if we're getting those readies in the chat. The readies are coming in slow, guys. The readies are coming in slow. These things ought not be so. The readies are coming in slow. Let me see, guys, if you guys are ready to go, so we can go further faster in your future throughout today's session, okay? Because I learned some, I would think, anyway, I learned some impactful things this year that I think if we are able to harness them, we'll be able to transition from a position of I'm just trying to survive to a position of I now understand how to thrive. So if that's good for you, if you're ready for that, throw the word ready in the chat. If you are ready for that, throw the word ready in the chat. Because in 2025, it was a very interesting year, okay? Many things happened in this year, all right? There are things that occurred for some of us that we didn't expect. There were things that occurred for some of us that we had to neglect. But the reality is, if you are taking the lessons, okay? Someone write in the chat the word lessons. If you are grabbing the learnings, someone write in the chat the word learnings, then what happens is you position yourself to be able to get the things you could be earning, okay? And this is one of the big issues most people have. Most people don't realize that we are literally faced every single day with the challenges of what we have learned in the past. So what does that mean? That means if we take advantage of our advantages, like I usually say to my students, if we utilize what we have learned from an experience, from a scenario, from a setting, what we do is we position ourselves to be able to win at the thing that we are going in, okay? So if somebody's understanding this, just write I am in the chat, so I know that you guys are getting this, okay? So one of the things that's super paramount is to make sure that even things you think are failures become lessons for you. Even things you think are setbacks become actual studies for you. I remember a number of years ago, I was listening to Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn said something super profound. He said, if you desire to be happy, surely you should make happiness a study. Now this is interesting, because most people I know don't make happiness a study. They don't say to themselves, you know what, I'm going to study happiness, so when I get to happiness, I know I've got there. Most people I know, they don't say to themselves, you know what, I'm going to take happiness so serious that when happiness shows up, I know how to say, hi happiness, I've been waiting for you. And this is the reason why whether it be in health, whether it be in wealth, whether it be in relationships, so many people don't have what they want because they haven't made those things a study. If someone understands what I'm talking about, just write in the comments, I do, so I know that I'm with you, okay? So in today's live, what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be sharing with you the lessons I learned in 2025 that have allowed me to thrive and not just survive. Now, in order to do that, I'm gonna have to start by sharing some simple insights with you. Insights which I think are gonna be super helpful for you, okay? And the first insight is how things work, okay? And when I say how things work, I mean specifically and predominantly in this whole world of survive versus thrive, survive versus thrive, survive versus thrive. I see my man Iradafe in the house. He says, I do, let's go. So he's getting it, right? And for those of you who are getting it, let me know in the chat, I'm getting it. So I know that you're getting it, okay? So let's now jump in to the lessons I learned in 2025 that are gonna assist me and you in order to thrive and not just survive, okay? So to set the foundation, to start sharing with you guys what this is all about, how this works, how this is pertinent, how this is practical, how these are principles that are necessary for you to move further fast in your future, the first thing I need to do is show you the landscape. Now, if you're joining me on TikTok, unfortunately, you aren't gonna see the doodles. You're not gonna see the drawing, but I'm gonna break it down because I don't want my family on TikTok to miss out as well. So I'm gonna still be breaking it down for you guys who are on TikTok as well, so you guys can also move further faster in your future. Okay, now, if everyone's ready to go, let me see the words let's go in the chat. Let me see the words let's go in the chat, and we're gonna jump right in. Now, in 2025, one of the biggest lessons I learned, which is gonna assist all of us as we move towards 2026, in order for some of us to get fixed, in preparation for us to put the right things in the mix, what did I learn? This is what I learned. I learned that most people are attempting to survive. Now that's fine. If most people are attempting to survive, that's absolutely fine. But here's the thing, that doesn't have to be you. Welcome Susan to the live, let's go. That doesn't have to be you. Welcome Iradafe to the live. That doesn't have to be you. Your story doesn't have to be, okay, Samuel, in 2026, I'm gonna be surviving again. That doesn't have to be your story. Now, here's something that's even more powerful. There are some people who haven't even been able to get to the level of survive in 2025. So a good question might be, a question you might ask me is, Samuel, if there are people who haven't got to the level of survive in 2025, where are they spending their life? I'm going to tell you where they're spending their life. They're spending their life at a level called strife. Oh Lord, I know that hit some of you the wrong way. I know some of you are thinking, I don't even know what to say. But guys, I want you to understand that is some people's lives each and every day. Samuel, how do you know this? Samuel, did you just make this up this morning? No, guys, this stuff was in the Bible, which I read every day when I woke up this morning. You don't believe me? Let me give you some direction. If you go to Psalm 18, I believe it's Psalm 18:43. Let me check it for myself, so I'm actually being accurate for you guys. Psalm chapter 18, verse 43. And guys, for those of you who are meeting me for the first time, my name is Samuel Ikanwinikinwin. I help people create consistent and colossal cash flow using resources and revenues hidden in plain sight. In fact, whilst there's coaches out there that will tell you they'll help you become financially free in 5 to 10 years, me and my team help people do that in 3 to 12 months. And we got the receipts. So if you're thinking, oh, how's this guy talking about the Bible and jumping into the Bible? Let me tell you why I'm jumping into the Bible. Because it is the oldest best-selling book in the world, which has the principles that you need to change your world. If someone's interested in changing their world in 2026, just write in the comments, I am. So I know I'm with the right people. Let's go. All right. So we're going to read this to you because I just said to you, some people have spent their life attempting to survive, but there's some people who are not even yet at that level because they're still at a level called strife. And I feel as though I need to prove this to you. So I'm going to share it with you. Let's go. Here it is. Let's go. Here it is. Where am I going to find it? Maybe it's not here. Okay, I'm going to have to find this for you guys. I'm going to have to search it up. This is another verse very similar. And if you guys want me to read this verse, just write the word read in the chat and I'll still read this one for you as well. All right? I'll still read this one for you as well. Susan, I see you. Susan says, I am. Let's go. All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to share with you the 3 levels of life. Okay. And then after I share with you the 3 levels of life, I'm going to break down for you the big lesson I took from that in 2025, which is going to keep me being able to thrive as I go further and forward inside of my life. And it's also going to help you if you use it. All right. There we go. Excuse me, guys. I told you I want to find this for you. I don't like paraphrasing verses of the Bible, okay? Because that should not happen. Okay? There we go. There we go. So I'm just finding the verse for you. So you guys have the actual verse. So I shared with you guys that there are 3 layers of life, and I've shared with you the first 2. The first one is what most people are going through. They're just attempting to survive. Most people are attempting to survive. But you can shift out of that. You can shift to another layer of life. What's the other layer of life, Samuel? Well, you can go lower and be someone who's going through strife. That's not what I desire for you. Hopefully that's not what you desire for yourself, okay? But like I said, there are different levels of life. You have to choose the one you desire to live on. So one of them is survive. I've shared that with you. The other one is strife. I'm going to share this with you. Let's go to Psalm 18 and I'm going to read verse 43. So it's exactly where I thought it was. I was just a few verses ahead. I was in 46. I was in 48. Let's go. Psalm chapter 18 verse 43. It says, you have delivered me from the strivings of the people. I'm going to read that again. You have delivered me from the striving of the people. Guys, I don't know if you've ever read that before, but I remember when I read that for the first time. I was listening to a minister based out in the States, and this minister shared that verse, and it literally made my mind go, my mind started jumping up and doing gymnastics, mental gymnastics. Because I was thinking to myself, wow, like God's already put a verse in here to show that we don't have to live in the strife zone. We can move at least to the survive zone. So I'm here to tell you today, for those of you who want to take the lesson away, you don't have to stay in strife. You can take steps and change your life. Someone write the word life in the chat if you're ready for this. So let's talk about the other layer of life. So that as you jump out of 2025, you have the best opportunity in order to thrive and not just survive. So at the lowest level, there's strife. But then most people want to just survive. I'm here to tell you that you do not have to live in strife. You do not have to just survive. You can elevate to a place where you thrive. Okay? You can elevate to a place where you thrive. You can be better. You can be stronger. You can be wiser. You can be sharper. You don't have to quit at strife mode. You don't have to quit at survive mode. You can elevate, as long as you don't hesitate, into thrive mode. If someone understands what I'm talking about, throw the letter U in the chat. Now, let's go deeper. I needed to start with that for you guys to understand where I'm going in today's lesson. I needed to help you understand. Because if you don't understand the foundation of what we're talking about, you're not going to have the elevation we're going to be talking about. So Samuel, what is the foundation? The foundation is you are making a decision constantly. You are making a decision daily. You are making a decision each and every step of the way. One of the things I say to people is incremental partnerships create exponential results. You are creating incremental decisions each and every day, which are having exponential results in your future when they come back to pay. I want you to think about that. So Samuel, are you telling me if I make the right incremental decision in each and every one of my days, then I'll automatically have the right exponential outcome in my future when it pays? And I'm saying to you, the answer to that is in big, old school Jim Rohn fashion, of course. Of course. So let's start breaking this down. And again, I said to you guys, my family on TikTok, I'm going to be giving you guys the value as well, but you guys won't be able to see the literal doodles on the tablet because of the fact that we're only doing that on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So let's go deeper. My family on Facebook, welcome. My family on YouTube, welcome. My family on Instagram, welcome. My family on TikTok, welcome. My people, let's go. So Here's how it works. You've got to decide, do you want to live on the level of strife? You've got to decide, do you want to live on this level of survive? You've got to decide, do you want to live on this level of thrive? That's up to you. In the words of, I think it was Abraham Lincoln who said this, if it's going to be, it's up to me. Ladies and gentlemen, that part is up to you. So now let me explain to you how this all works, okay? Because most of us don't understand how this all works. So I'm here to explain how it works, right? Watch this. In our lives, we are all facing a tug of war, okay? We're facing a tug of war in our lives. Every single one of us. Someone write in the comments, tug of war. Now, the tug of war we're facing in our life is between two parties, okay? Not 3 parties, not 4 parties, not 5 parties, not 8 parties. There's only 2 parties in the tug of war of life. The tug of war that leaves you striving when you want to be thriving. The tug of war that leaves you surviving when you want to be thriving is the same tug of war. So you're probably asking the question, Samuel, what tug of war is that? I'm so glad you asked. Let me explain to you what the tug of war is. It's a simple tug of war. I'll explain it to you. It's the tug of war between W and E. And here's a secret that most people don't know, but I'm going to give it to you so you can know. This tug of war is a rigged game. Samuel, what do you mean it's a rigged game? It means that the person who's going to win is the same person who always wins. I hope you're ready for this. Because if the person who's going to win is the person who always wins, then the question you're probably going to be asking is the same question I was asking when I first realized that my whole life of whether I'm going to live in thrive, survive, or strive is a tug of war where one party is always going to win. Well, I want to know who that party is. Let me tell you who this tug of war is between. This tug of war is between W, which is our work, and E, which is our expectation. And here's something most people will never tell you, but here's something that I think you deserve to know. Expectation always wins. I'm going to say it again in case you need to pick up your pen. Expectation always wins. In the tug of war of life that you and I have been privy to for 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, 90 years, 30 years, 20 years, 10 years, 100 years, it doesn't make a difference. I hope you are taking the notes and understanding that there is a tug of war taking place between whether you will strive, survive, or thrive. And inside of that tug of war, there is one person who is always going to win, because the tug of war is between the same 2 people every single day, no matter how you play. The tug of war is between W and E, and W is work and E is expectation. Now, some of you, I can literally feel it through the internet sphere. Some of you don't understand what I'm talking about. So let me break it down a little bit simpler, all right? And if you guys are getting it, for those of you who are getting it, just write in the comments, I'm getting it. So I know that I'm with the right people today. Let me break this down. Have you ever in your life felt like you're working so hard, but the results of that work is still not coming through? If you've ever been in that situation, just write I have in the chat. I want you to think about this. We live in a world where some people work 28 days, 29 days, 30 days, and then get paid. I don't know about you. You guys let me know. Have you ever had that experience in your life where you feel like you're working so hard, but for some reason, the pay just doesn't seem to come? You're working so hard, but you're thinking to yourself, you know what? Why does it feel so hard? Why do I feel strained? Why do I feel like I haven't got the gain? Why do I feel like I'm going through pain? These are the things that drive people insane. Hope someone's hearing me today. Now, let me break this down so you understand. What's going on when you are in that world I've just described? Like some of you might have spent the whole of 2025 in that kind of bubble, right? Where you're working so hard, but the results are not coming. Let me tell you what's happening, right? I've already shared with you guys the base layer for you guys to understand how this works. The base layer is there are 3 zones to live in life. You can live in strife, you can live in survive, or you can live in thrive. That's up to you. You have to decide. Now, a good question might be, Samuel, how do I transition? I'm going to be sharing that with you as I share with you the big lessons I learned through 2025. Because that's going to help you change your life. So when you go into 2026, you can go into 2026 fixed. You can go into 2026 in a new mix. You can go into 2026 where you get to pick how you're going to live. Instead of saying, you know what, I have to stay stuck in strife. What did I just share with you? Psalm 18:42. I believe it was verse 42. Let me check it again for you. Psalm 18:42. No, 43. You have delivered me from the striving of the people. God has already done the work to deliver those of you who want to get to work. Whether you receive it or not is a whole nother question. Samuel, what do you mean whether I'll receive it or not? Haven't you read anything in the New Testament? What does it say in the New Testament? Let, Philippians, this mind be in you, which was once in Christ Jesus. Let, oh, I see the lights coming through TikTok. Let's go. In the book of Philippians, it says, let this mind be in you, which was once in Christ Jesus. What does that mean? It's up to you. I paraphrased it earlier. If it's going to be, it's up to me. Welcome to the live Hemery. Let's go. I want you guys to understand how this works. There are 3 levels and layers you can live your life off of. One is the level and layer of strive. One is the level and layer that where you just survive. And the other is the level and layer where you thrive. But if it's going to be, it's up to me. You have to make the decision where you want to be. Psalm 18:43, as we just read, it says he's delivered you from the striving of the people. You don't have to live on the level of strife. That's if you're living there, it's because you've decided it. Then someone's going to say to you, but Samuel, I never made that decision. Well, it's because you didn't understand the precision. What precision, Samuel, of what the diagram I just described and illustrated for you is? You didn't understand that in your life, just like in my life, just like in all of our lives, like in the life of my 6 children, like in the life of my beautiful wife, in all of our lives, there is a tug of war going on. And that tug of war is between 2 people that are always going at it in this tug of war. But the cheat code is to understand that one person always wins this tug of war. Who's this tug of war between? It's between W and E. And W is your work and E is your expectation. And what most people don't understand is the game is rigged. Why? Because expectation always wins. This is the reason why you can work 60 hours a week and still not reach your peak. Because your expectations are in direct opposition to the work you are doing. If this is helping someone, just write me in the chat. Let me know if this is helping someone. I don't know if this is helpful. I don't know if this is valuable. I want to know from you guys. If this is helping someone, just write the words me in the chat. It doesn't matter what platform you're on. I just want to see if this is of value to you. So in 2025, there was a few lessons. There's one particular profound lesson I'm going to share with you guys in today's session. But there's a few lessons that I learned that literally shifted the way I see things. And it put me in a position where I know that I need to share this with other people, because when other people, I see you, Nelly, in the chat. Nelly says, me. Let's go. Because I know when other people get hold, grasp this conceptual idea that I'm sharing with you guys. I see you, Susan, in the chat. Susan says, me. You see, when people start recognizing and realizing what I'm sharing with you, guess what's going to happen? Everything is going to change. I see you, Hammery. Hammery says, me. I love that. I love that. I don't know why TikTok's trying to ban certain comments, but let's approve that comment because TikTok needs to know how to do it the right way. Let's go. So let's go deeper. So you guys are getting this. You guys are understanding this. Let's go deeper. So let me share it with you. We get to a place, we get in a space where we recognize, hold on a minute, there's different layers. There's the survive, there's the strive, or on top of all of that, there's thrive. But I get to decide. I've got to decide. Okay? Let's go. Nana Bay, let's go. Welcome to the live, Nana. Great to have you in. And she says, me. Let's go. All right? So we understand there's different levels, there's different layers. Base level is strive. Okay? Someone throw in the comments, I don't want to strive. Okay? And here's the thing. If you want to strive, I don't want you to strive. Okay? So if you're not bold enough, big enough, brass enough to write in the comments, I don't want to strive, I'm declaring it for you. I don't want you to strive. We're leaving 2025. I don't want you to strive. Make your declaration for yourself today. Okay? Now, after strive, we have the next level, which is survive. Okay? And you should make the declaration. If you've got your notepad, your iPad, your tablet, your stylus, your pen, paper, everything you need in order to succeed right now, I want you to write in your journal right now, I don't want to just survive. I don't want to just survive. And those of you using TikTok, we're so close. Let's get to 1,000 likes. Let's go. Okay? I see it coming in the YouTube. I don't want to strive. I don't want to strive. This is good, right? So you guys are making your declaration. I don't want to strive. I love this. Now, the second declaration, write this one in your journal. Forget the YouTube sphere, right? Just write this for yourself in your journal, in your notepad, in your iPad, in your tablet, in your stylus, with your pen, paper, and everything you need in order to succeed. Just write, I don't want to just survive. Okay? This is preparing you for the third declaration that I want you to make. Because that third declaration, without hesitation, is going to pull you out of procrastination. The third declaration is, I will thrive. I want someone to throw that in the comments. Let's go. I will thrive. Let me tell you something, guys. 2025 isn't even over. Some people have already closed their shop doors. Some people have already closed their doors. I don't want to go into this, but I'm going to go into this because I think this will be value for someone if I go into this. There are people looking for a spouse who have closed their doors for 2025. There are people looking for a house who have closed their doors in 2025. Because they said, oh, the year's over. The year's not over. The year's not over. You can begin to thrive right now. You can transition out of survive right now. You can elevate out of strife right now. The year is not over, ladies and gentlemen. I am telling you this. I see it coming through. Yes, I see it coming through. Thrive. Let's go. Oh, I didn't even realize we hit 1.2 thousand likes on TikTok. Welcome to the Thousandaire Element TikTok. Great to have you guys. Guys, and if you're on YouTube or Facebook and you haven't hit like and you're getting value from this, guys, you know what to do. Do the right thing. Let's go. All right, let's go deeper. So Samuel, if I'm in this position where I understand the base layer is strive, the layer above that is survive, and the layer above that is thrive, what did you learn in 2025 that's going to help me to change my life? I'm so glad you asked. Let's go deeper. Now, one of these lessons, I have to first share with you a lesson that I learned a number of years ago to help you with this, okay? So here's a lesson that I learned a number of years ago that's going to help you understand what I'm talking about. Because if I don't share this lesson with you, you're not going to have a clear picture of what I'm talking about with you and what I'm sharing for you. So I have to share this with you for you guys to get this, okay? So let's jump into this. Now, in the year 2000, we entered a season, we entered a time, okay? And here's the thing I say to people, they told us what we were entering, but they didn't tell us what it means. Does anyone know what we entered in the year 2000? Does anyone know what we entered in the year 2000? Okay, let me give you guys a minute and see if you guys know what we entered in the year 2000, okay? I don't know, is a minute too long? I don't know if a minute's too long. Let's see. I'll give you guys a minute. Let's go, all right? What did we enter in the year 2000? Whatever platform you're on, let me know. What did we enter in the year 2000, okay? Because they told us, okay, Duchess came through so quick, I didn't even realize the comment was there. Duchess said we entered the millennium. Yes, they said we entered the millennium. But what did the media tell us? What did the news tell us? What did they over publicize on all of the news? What did they say? Oh, we're entering the something age. Okay? Does anyone remember what they called it? Because here's the thing we don't understand sometimes. Sometimes they tell us what we're entering, but they don't tell us what it means. And the power is not in what we're entering. The power is in what it means. If this is helpful for someone, just write in the comments, helpful. Because I want you guys to be getting this deeply. I want you to have the deepest understanding of what we're talking about. Because they told us what we were entering, but they didn't tell us what it means. Let's go. Let me see who's going to get this first. All right, in the year 2000. I'm going to share with you. Okay, Duchess has got it. They told us we entered the millennium. Let me tell you what they called it. They called it the information age. They said we were entering the information age. Now, I'm going to explain to you how this works and why this is important. Because some of us don't know what's going on. I see you, Nelly. Let's go. Some of us don't understand how this impacts us. So I'm going to explain it to you, right? And I'm going to explain it to you using the concept of business. Now, if you don't have your own business, it's okay. I'm going to walk it through very simply. All of you are going to get it. If you're going to get it, just write in the comments, I'm going to get it. So I know you're with me. Watch this. In business, everything is based off of two variables, okay? And for those of you who are looking at my drawing on YouTube, Don't judge me, just pray for me. My name is Samuel I Can Win, not Picasso. So in business, everything is based off two variables. The question is, what are those two variables, Samuel? The two variables are S and D. What do they stand for? Supply and demand. Everything in business works off of supply and demand. Okay? Now, why is this important? I'm going to tell you why it's important. When the supply of something is high and the demand, the interest for that thing is low, what happens, guys? The price goes down. I'm going to say it again in case you need to pick up your pen. Listen to this, guys, because this is a lesson I learned years ago, but this will change your life if you understand this. When the supply of something is high and the demand, the interest for that thing is low, what happens, guys? The price goes down. Someone write in the comments the word down. Okay? When there's a high supply and a low demand, the price goes down. Now, why is that important? I'm going to tell you why it's important. Because the converse is true. Sammy, what does that mean that the converse is true? I'm so glad that you've asked me. I'm going to tell you. The converse is true, which means when the demand for something is high, think about the iPhone. Hundreds of thousands of people queuing outside of the Apple store. Hundreds of thousands of people queuing round the corner of the Apple store. When the demand is high and the supply is low, we've only got 1,000 phones to sell today. What happens, ladies and gentlemen? Someone tell me in the chat the direction of the price. When the demand is high and the supply is low, the price goes what direction, ladies and gentlemen? Now, let me tell you why this is so important, because some of us haven't realized how we've been switcherooed. Some of us haven't realized how we've been macked. Some of us have not realized how they've told us what we were entering but didn't tell us what it meant. Oh, I'm here to tell you. Let me tell you something, guys. My parents traveled from Africa to the UK so we could have a better way. They traveled to the UK and they told me education is the key. But unfortunately, my parents didn't understand what kind of education would actually be the key. This is why I'm sharing this with you guys, because I want you guys to understand this. Let's go. Nelly said it. High supply, less demand, the price goes low. Susan said it. The converse is true. If we have a high demand and a low supply, the price goes up. Nana said it. True. If we have a high demand and low supply, the price goes up. Samuel, why is this so relevant? Samuel, how's this going to change my 2026? I'm so glad you asked. Let's jump into this. In the year 2000, they told us what we were entering, but they didn't tell us what it meant. They told us we were entering the information age, but they didn't tell us what it meant. Let me tell you what it means. The information age was going to be the first time in history ever that for the first time, the supply of information was going to far exceed the demand for information. Oh Lord, I'm going to say it again in case you want to really pick up your pen. The information age that we entered in the year 2000, 2000, was going to be the first time in civilization where the supply of information through means of the internet, through means of platforms like YouTube, through means of search engines like Google, for the first time in your life, in a lifetime, in any century, any decade, any year, for the first time in the year 2000, 25 years ago, we entered a season where if you didn't understand the reason, it might feel like your financial situation has been committing treason. Sammy, what do you mean? I'm going to tell you exactly what I mean. If we understand when there's a high supply and a low demand, the price goes down. If we understand from business metrics, when there is a high demand and a low supply, the price goes up. And we understand that we were being told what we were entering in 20,000 in the year 2000, in 2000, but we weren't being told what it meant. We were being hoodwinked, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you what we entered. We entered the first time where the supply of information would far exceed the demand for information. So the price, the value of information was going to plummet down. Now, let me tell you what the problem is with that, because some of you don't see the problem yet. Let me tell you the problem. The problem with that is if you are like someone like my parents, you might be saying to yourself, well, that's okay. That's not a problem. Hey guys, I've got to literally pause for a minute because my TikTok audience, the battery is gonna die. So let me give my TikTok people the charger, okay? Those of you on TikTok, I love you and I'm sure you know that. So I'm gonna make sure you don't lose juice. Let's go. All right, TikTok. Let me see. Thank you, Samuel, in the chat as we make sure that we keep you guys with us. Let's go. All right, so let's go deeper. If you are like someone like my parents who came to the UK for education as your key to elevation, if you're like someone like me who was trained by your parents that education is the key to your elevation, guess what happens when the supply of information for the first time far exceeds the demand for information? The price goes down. How far down, Samuel? That's a good question. Let me tell you how far down. It went below zero. Someone write in the chat, zero. The value of information is valueless. There is no value in information. And some of you might be thinking, Samuel, how could that be the case? I'm going to tell you how that can be the case. But before I tell you how that can be the case, I'm going to tell you how you experience this every day in your face. You see, I've been coaching people to generate revenue to replace their income since as far back as 2016. And guess what I've discovered? Guess what I've realized as far back as 2016? One of the things I've discovered, one of the things I've realized as far back as 2016 is most people think I'm just gonna learn on YouTube University. Most people think I'm just gonna learn. I see you, Quest. Most people think I'm just gonna learn on TikTok University. Most people think I'm just gonna learn on Instagram University. Most people think I'm gonna learn on Facebook University. Let me tell you why, no matter how hard you try to learn property investing, financial freedom, successful relationships, guys, you cannot learn these things on these platforms because these platforms are only distributing information. And information as of the year 2000 has lost its value. Someone write in the chat, value. Someone who's getting this, write in the chat, value. Someone who's seeing what I'm talking about, literally write in the chat, value. So I know you guys are seeing this in 4 dimensions. Let's go deeper. So in the year 2000, what we entered, which they didn't tell us what it meant, was the information age. We were entering the first time in our whole history of humanity where the supply of information was going to, for the first time, far exceed the supply of information. So what happened? The price goes down. Now, for those of you who still don't believe me or still don't understand what I'm sharing, I see you, Nelly. Nelly says information age from 2000. I see you, Susan. Susan says value. Listen, for those of you who still don't understand what I'm talking about, the next step is going to really help you. Watch this. If I take a book, you can do this right now in your house. Go get a book in your house, right? I'm in my studio. I've got books all over the place. Let me grab a book. Which book? Which book are we gonna promote without promoting? Let's go. Here's a book, right? TikTok, you get to see it first, right? This is a book that I read years ago. A book I love, right? The Richest Man Who Ever Lived, right? And it's a book about King Solomon, okay? Written by Stephen K. Scott, okay? If you don't have this book, shameless plug, go get this book. I didn't write this book, but guys, this is a good book. Go get this book, right? So this book is called The Richest Man Who Ever Lived, written by Stephen K. Scott, and it's a book about King Solomon. Here's my question. If everybody here tuned in on the TV, on your mobile, whether you're on TikTok, it doesn't matter what platform you're on. If you go and get a book in your house, okay, all I want you to do is look at the back of the book and throw the price of the book. The price is usually on the barcode at the top. Throw the price of the book in the chat. Okay, that's all you got to do. Simple task. Simple task. Now, I believe, as many of you guys know, in leading by example. Okay? I'm going to say it again in case you need to pick up a pen. I believe, Samuel I Can Win believes, as many of you guys know, in leading by example, even when it's hard to do, okay? And you might be thinking, Samuel, what do you mean when it's hard to do? Well, I'm trying to find the chat on TikTok, and it's hard. It's proving hard to find the chat right now, okay? So let me find the chat. And the reason I'm finding the chat on TikTok is because I'm going to do in TikTok what I'm telling you guys to do. I'm telling you to write the price of any book that you go and find in your house right now inside of the chat. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it first in TikTok, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other platforms. Now, this is in dollars, but I'm going to write it in nonetheless, okay? So I've done that. All right, let's go. Jess Ma says, Outliers, great book. That's Malcolm Gladwell. Love that. Jess Ma, and guys, I read a lot, so if I'll probably know a lot of the books you put in there, right? So Jess Ma says, Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, £10. Samuel I Can Win said, $19.99. And you know the book, I just showed you the book, The Richest Man Who Ever Lived, written by Stephen K. Scott. Very good book. Again, very good book, right? Now, let me make sure I do this on these other platforms just so that you guys can say, okay, I actually understand. Samuel doesn't joke. Samuel actually leads by example. He actually does what he's going to say or what he says he's going to do, right? So there you go. YouTube, $19.99. All right. We got Instagram in the house. Instagram. Who's watching on Instagram? We haven't had any comments from Instagram. If you're on Instagram, guys, say hi. Say hi. At least say hi. Come on, let's be courteous. I was raised in the UK. We say hi. Not as much as in the USA. When I went to the USA in 2023, guys, they really say hi. They give you a hug and everything. They're like Robbie's church that she used to go to. But guys, if you're on Instagram and you're tuned in, guys, do the right thing. Do the right thing. Hi, Samuel. I'm tuning in from XYZ, and it's a pleasure to be here, or whatever it is. All right, let's get back into the session, because I think this is valuable. For those of you who've been getting value so far, just write the word value. Anyone been getting value so far, just write the word value. Let's go. Susan throws in £8.99. Why brands with purpose do better and matter more by David Hyatt. Love that, right? Love that. And David, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. H-I-E-A-T-T, right? Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, right? I don't like butchering people's names. I used to be a teacher, so I know children really want their names said correctly. So adults even more so. Now, let's go deeper. So here's what I'm going to do now to help you. Okay, the words values coming through, values coming through. Okay, so people are getting value from this. All right, cool. So let's go deeper, right? So I told you in the year 2000, they told us what we were entering. They didn't tell us what it was. In the year 2000, we entered the information age. They told us what we were entering. They didn't tell us what it was. I just told you what it is. What was it? The information age was the first time where the value of information would plummet to 0 or below. Why? Because the supply of information through means of the internet and certain websites was going to far exceed the demand for information for the first time, right? Now, here's something I'm going to prove to you. A question you might ask, because this is a question I had when I first discovered this, was, Samuel, if that's true, if information has no value, Samuel, if that's true, how comes Samuel just said the book, The Richest Man in the Richest Man Who Ever Lived, The Richest Man in Babylon is also another book, but The Richest Man Who Ever Lived, how comes you just said, Samuel, that book is 1999? Okay? Samuel, if that's true, how come Susan just said that the book, Why Brands with Purpose Do Better and Matter More, is £8.99? Samuel, if that's true, how comes Jessma can say Outliers is £10? I'm going to tell you, I'm so glad you guys are asking these great questions. Here's the reason why. Because a book is not just information, ladies and gentlemen. Let me help you with this. Everyone who got your book, Susan's got the book, Why Brands Matter, Why Brands with Purpose Do Better and Matter More. Jessma's got the book, Outliers. I've got the book, The Richest Man Who Ever Lived. Here's what we're all going to do. Go to the third page of the book. Now, some of you are thinking, Samuel, are you a mind reader? How can you tell me what's on the third page of the book? I can tell you what's on the third page of the book because the third page of the book is the evidence that that book is not just information. I can tell you what's on the third page of that book because I've been reading books for over 21 years seriously, voraciously, and I've discovered and learned that the third page of the book is the reason why the book can have a price on the back instead of, say, free on the back. Now, when you go to the third page of the book, you're going to find something that looks like this. Okay? Let's see if we can get the focus on the camera. Okay? Someone throw in the chat what it says at the top of the third page of every book. At the top of the third page of every book that has a price on the back, you will see the word contents. Ladies and gentlemen, what does contents do? Contents is evidence, contents is proof that every single book that has a price on the back of the book is not information, ladies and gentlemen. It has something else. Let me tell you what it has. It has, for those of you who can see on the platform I'm drawing on, it is not just mere information, but rather than mere information. Oh, let's go. Nana said, contents page. Okay, you guys are getting this. Those of you on TikTok, let me know what's on the third page of your book. Am I alone? Am I talking about something that is only relevant to the book I have? Or is it all the books in all of the homes of all of us? Let me tell you what we see on the third page of every single book, ladies and gentlemen. The third page of the books in my house. The third pages of the books in your house. The third page of the books in your house. Jessma says, contents, let's go. Let me tell you what the contents page is evidence of. It's evidence that that book is not just information, but that book also comes with something called organization. So Samuel, what are you telling me? Are you telling me that the reason why a book in 2025 will cost me £10, $20? Are you telling me the reason a book has even the small value of the £10 and the $20, even that small value of a one note that you can use in the UK, in the US of A, in Australasia or in Asia to buy the book? Are you telling me the value in the book is not in the information, but it's in the third page? Yes, I'm telling you that the third page of every book is evidence that there is more value in a book than there is on social media, no matter how hard you look. The information for everything you want is out there. But because it's out there without organization, it lacks value. If I teach you right now how to make £1 million in 12 months, guess what? Without the organization of the information will lack value. If I increase the value by adding organization, do this step first, then this step second, then this step third, guess what happens? That information instantly becomes of more value. So what we discover, and what I hope you've uncovered from what I've shared with you, is that although there is no value at the level of information, there is a small amount of value at the level of organization. If somebody's getting this, if somebody's literally like, Samuel, you are helping me today, just write whatever you want. Write one word in the chat to describe how you're finding this session. Okay, whatever platform you're on. Okay, I love that. Nelly wrote, content plus organization equals value. Let's go. And here's the thing, Nelly, right? Nelly said this. This is super powerful. Here's the thing, Nelly. We can even maximize the value by learning the other levels, because you guys can't see what I'm drawing here. What I'm drawing, they can see on YouTube, they can see on Instagram, they can see on Facebook, right? And I love my TikTok family. That's why I don't want to leave you guys out of today's session. Okay, so I do apologize, right? Jessma says organized knowledge. Wow, that's an amazing emoji. I don't even think I've seen that emoji in a long time. Let's go. All right, let's go deeper, right? So those of you who are joining, throw in the chat one word to describe how you're finding this session so far. Let's go deeper. So there's information, there's organization. Okay, now let me tell you, because I think Nelly's thrown it in the chat, so I'm gonna do this to even help you guys more. And Nelly, Jessma, everyone who's joining us on TikTok, there's so many people on TikTok. Everyone who's joining us on TikTok, we're at 1,600 likes. Let's go to 2,000 likes on TikTok, right? Let's go to 2,000 likes if this is of value. Okay, Hammery's already just started to hit the like. Let's go. Hammery always in the house, adding the value. Love that, right? Let's go to 2,000 likes. Those of you who are joining us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, I want you to let us know in the chat one word to describe how you're finding the session so far. Let's go deeper. Now, guys, you might as well all in the chat, all just start writing right now. Thank you, Nelly. Okay, right. Thank you, Nelly. Why? Because what Nelly wrote, content plus organization equals value. Okay, and Susan's now written the same or a different version of that in YouTube. Susan has said organized information equals value, right? So thank you, Susan. Thank you, Nelly. Why? Because of Nelly and Susan, I'm now going to show you guys how we can even increase the value. Okay, how do you increase the value? Let me show you. Okay, information has no value. Organization has little value. Let me go to the next one, all right? Susan says, thank you, Nelly. Let's go, all right? Let's go a step higher. If information has no value and organization has a little value, you don't want to spend 2026 with a little value. You don't want to be surviving. You want to be thriving. So let me take you a step higher. Above organization is a beautiful word called application. Application. You see, if I give you the information without the organization, you won't know what to do. But if I give you the information with the organization, you'll have something to do. But here's where it gets really powerful. If I help you with application, you won't just have the information with a form of organization, you also do the thing you're supposed to do. This is why application is always more valuable than information and infinitely more valuable than organization. If someone's going to assist you to do the thing that you need to do, I can guarantee you £10 is not what's going to come through. People pay thousands of pounds, tens of thousands of pounds. What for? For application. For application. You don't want to just know the information. You don't want to just have the information with organization. You want the application. Someone throw in the comments the word application. Oh my gosh, we did it. We didn't only do it. Guys, every single time I turn my face from TikTok, it's just like it just becomes a whole new world. We haven't hit 2,000 likes in TikTok. We've hit 2,600. We literally added a whole new 1,000 likes in that short period of time. TikTok, let's go. I love my TikTok family, guys. They're just there. The energy is just there. Let's go. So I want you guys to understand this, right? Lowest level with no value is information. That's where many people live, okay? Second layer with small value, £10, £20, £30 some, is organization. Real value, Jessma, I see you. Real value, when we start to change the world, is where we implement application. Okay? Let me tell you something. It doesn't matter if you know. Let me even ask you guys. Do you guys know the formula for losing weight? Okay? In the US of A, oh, we hit 3,000 likes. Let's go. In the US of A, they have said there is an epidemic of obesity. Okay? So what do you think they need? What do you think they need in the USA? Some people say they just need information. They need to know the formula to lose weight. Is someone with me? Does someone understand what I'm talking about? It's true. If there's an epidemic of weight in the US of A, all they need is the information. So why don't you just give them education? Why don't you just give them the information? What's the formula for losing weight? I'm going to tell you the formula for losing weight. One of my coaches taught me this. The formula for losing weight is eat less, move more. Am I correct? Is that the formula for losing weight? Eat less, move more. Here's the funniest thing. If the formula for losing weight is so simple, eat less, move more, why do we still have the epidemic? I'm going to tell you why we have the epidemic. We have the epidemic because the information has no value. Now, let's implement the second layer, organization. Let's organize the information. Which one do you do first? Well, the good thing about that formula is you can do either first. But let's say we have to do one first. Let's say the eat less has to come first. So now we have organization. Not that much more value, but more value. Eat less, then move more. Okay? So we have the information and the organization. Here's my question. Why do we still have an epidemic in the US of A as it pertains to obesity? I'm going to tell you why. Because information and organization is not enough. We need application, ladies and gentlemen. We need application, ladies and gentlemen. It's all fair and well to know how to change your financial situation, but if you still stay in procrastination and hesitation, you are not going to have the elevation that you know you can have. So it still takes a step of application. Now, let me give you the last step, okay? This is for those of you who literally threw those comments in. This is for Nelly, this is for Susan, let's go. So the lowest level, this layer is information. It's worthless. Stop telling yourself you're going to change your finances by getting more information. Stop. Listen, guys, I'm just being very transparent with you. If you are telling yourself you're going to change your future by getting more information, I'm here to tell you, you have made a mistake. You've been hoodwinked. So let me tell you what you need to do. Instead of seeking information, at least, oh please, I'm going to say it again, at least, oh, I need to say it again in case you need to pick up your pen, at least focus on getting organized information. At least pick up a book. Organization is always going to be more valuable just than mere information. Okay? Hopefully this is helping someone. Now, let's go deeper. More valuable than organization and information is application. Just make sure when you learn what to do, you do the work. Take the step, apply it. This is why people pay tens of thousands of pounds to go on coaching programs, to join courses. You know why? Because they're going to have accountability, which will cause them to take the action, and then they have application. If someone understands what I'm talking about, just write in the comments, I do. Now, here's the next step where the highest level of value happens for those who realize I'm not just looking for information. I know I need more than organization. I know I can step into application, but the reason I am engaging, the reason I'm doing this, the reason this is of interest to me is actually, I'm going to put an arrow out here, for the purpose of transformation. That's the key. The highest value that you're going to have, the highest value that can come to you, the highest value thing someone can do, the highest value in order to assist and help you is when someone does the work. Nelly says, I do. Hemery says, I do. Susan says, I do. Nana says, I do. The highest value that I have for you is to show you, share with you, and literally speak to you about how you can transform. It's not about the information. It's not about the organization. It is not even about the application. It is about transformation, transforming your finances. Someone who's ready for 2026 to be a transformative year, just write in the comments, I am. Someone who's ready, someone who said, you know what, I've had enough of living. I drew this for you guys earlier. I've had enough of living in strife. I've had enough. Nah in the house. Nah, let me know your name, please. Or is it actually Nah? Let me know. But Nah says I am. Nah says I do. Let's go. Listen, guys. Susan says I am. Listen, someone who says I've had enough of living in strife. I've had enough of just trying to survive. I want transformation, so in 2026, I will thrive. If that's you, just write I am in the chat. Make your declaration. Nana, welcome Nana to the house. We got another Nana in the house. Let's go. I love my Nanas. Let's go. Someone who's making that declaration today to say, you know what, I'm not going to strive anymore. I read when Samuel said it, or even I heard when Samuel said it. Samuel said, Psalm 18:43, he has delivered me from the striving of the people. I'm not striving anymore. That's me. You were talking about me. Samuel, I take that prophecy. I'm not going through strife anymore. Those of you who have said in your heart, you know what, from now on, I'm not going to just survive anymore. Those of you who are making the declaration, today is the day. I'm now going to thrive. Nelly, I see you. Literally make your declaration, write the words I am in the chat. Okay? Now, why am I asking you to write I am? I'm going to tell you. If anyone wants to know the secret, just write the word secret, 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 secret. If anyone who wants to know the secret, just write the word secret in the chat. Whoever wants to know the secret of why I'm asking you to write I am. Okay? If you want to know the secret of why Samuel's asking you to write I am in the chat, just write the word secret. Oh, Nelly's so quick. Nelly is like, secret! She wrote that in before I could even look. Let me tell you the secret. If you are like me and you read the Bible, God has a name that he told Moses when Moses said, who should I tell them is sending me? Nana says, secret. You guys are getting this already. I don't even have to finish the sentence. You guys are getting this. I've seen the likes blowing up in TikTok. Moses said, I'm about to do something that's transformative. I'm about to do something I've never done before. I'm about to go into a realm I've never been before. But who should I say is the energy? Who should I say is the power? Who should I say is the capacity? Who should I say is sending me? And God says to him, tell them I am that I am is sending you. That's why I'm telling you to write I am. Not because, oh, Samuel just wants, no, because I need you to understand that there are deeper things going on than the strive and the survive that are stopping you from being able to thrive. You need to declare, I am. That's how I'm going to start to thrive, because of I am. Because the secret is, it's not about my power, it's about his power. And when I yield and allow his power to become my power, it's over. The game is over, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I know some of you came for practical, tactical. So let me give you some practical, tactical before we're out of here. Now, you can live your life in strife. I don't want you to. You can live your life and just survive. I don't want you to. You can do what I believe you should do, which is thrive. Yes, I want you to. And I'm here to tell you how to do it. The way you do it is you do it with I am. Okay? You do it with I am. You understand that there is a war going on. There's a tug of war going on between W and E. W is work. E is your expectation. If you're expecting to fail, it doesn't matter how well you do the work, you're guaranteed to fail. So set your expectation on success. Set your expectation on being the best. Set your expectation on being able to run past the rest. And it's not the rest of other people. It's the rest of the mess that you had in your past. So you don't have to strive anymore. You don't have to survive anymore. You can elevate into thrive for sure. Now, here's the question. Samuel, what did you learn in 2025 that's going to assist me, help me in order to thrive? Well, like I said, I had to start by sharing with you a lesson I learned years ago so you guys can have the foundation to understand what I learned this year that's literally going to catapult you, going to catapult me, going to catapult all of us as we go forward in 2026, right? Let me start breaking it down. I shared with you guys that in the year 2000, we entered the information age. They told us what we were entering. They didn't tell us what it was. The information age was the first time where the supply of information was going to far exceed the demand for information. Thus, the value of information is zero. I told you guys that more valuable than information is organization. Go get any book in your house. Go look on the third page. There is a contents page. That's the evidence that we're not talking about information anymore. We're talking about organized information, which is organization. I then shared with you that if you don't do what the book tells you to do, you don't have the result the book is coming to give you. So what do we need? Something more valuable than the information and the organization is our ability to have application. And then I shared with you that the highest actual value is not the organization. It isn't even the application. The highest actual value is the transformation. Now, those of you who want me to do a teaching on transformation, maybe throughout this festive season, maybe in a week, maybe whatever, like on the 27th, 28th, one of the days, like I can jump on live and we could do a training on transformation. If you want that, just write in the comments the word transform, okay? So I know that that's something of interest to you. And I'll jump on live sometime throughout this festive period and I'll do a live, literally talking to you about the process of transformation, how you can make it happen for you and your nation, your children, your friends, your family, your nephews, your nieces, your aunties, your uncles, okay? We could do that if you want to do that. Just throw the word transform in the chat if that's what you want. Now, I shared all that with you to share this with you. What I discovered this year, which is going to allow you to thrive, which is going to allow you to take yourself out of survive, which is going to allow you to transform yourself beyond strife. I see Nelly says transformation. I see Susan says transform. Let's go, all right? What I discovered this year is something very deep. I'm going to share it with you, okay? And I hope you guys are ready to hear this because this could potentially change everything in your life. I'm going to say it to you in a sentence, then I'm going to show it to you, okay? Sentence and then show. Someone write in the chat the word sentence, okay? So I know you guys know what's coming right now. I'm going to share with you the sentence, then I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to show it to you, okay? Now, guys, this is not church. I'm not preaching anybody. I'm not Bible bashing anybody. What do I mean by that? What I mean is when I show it to you, if I show it to you from the Bible, okay, it's not because I'm trying to Bible bash you. I'm showing it to you from the Bible so you understand I didn't make this stuff up. I discovered this stuff. I had to find it. Just like when I used to be a math teacher, all maths is discovered. No maths is made up. People don't make up maths. They discover it, okay? So that's why I'm sharing this with you, so you guys understand how this works. So the first thing I'm going to give you is the sentence. If you're ready for the sentence, write in the comments, I am. Susan said sentence. She's ready for the sentence. Henry said sentence. Ready for the sentence. Nelly said sentence. Ready for the sentence. Here's the sentence. When we look from the wrong dimension, our freedom faces prevention. I'm going to say it again in case you need to pick up your pen. When we look from the wrong dimension, our freedom faces prevention. If you are attempting to become financially free, if you look from the wrong dimension, your freedom faces prevention. Think about that. If you are attempting to become relationally free, if you look from the wrong dimension, your freedom faces prevention. If you are attempting to get health free, free from toxins, if you look from the wrong dimension, your freedom faces prevention. You are preventing your freedom when you look from the wrong dimension. Okay? Now, if everybody understood the sentence, I'm now going to show it to you. If you're ready for me to show it to you, someone write in the chat, show it. Okay? Samuel, what does this mean? Break this down for me. I see what you've said, but now break it down for me so I can actually see it in my head. All right? Just write the word show it, and we'll do that right now. Okay? Now, Samuel, you said you're not Bible bashing, but you said you're going to the Bible. Help me with this. Okay, let me help you with this real quick. This is not a biblical interpretation. Okay? This is not a biblical interpretation. I'm not here to preach anyone. This is a life application. Okay? I want you to understand what I'm talking about. I'm not about to show you an interpretation of the Bible. I'm not trying to interpret the Bible for you. I'm just giving you an application of a principle in the Bible. Okay? Nelly says show it. Hammery says show it. Okay, show it is blowing up in the chat. Susan says show it, right? I'm going to say it again in case you need to pick up your pen. This is not some biblical interpretation. This is a life application. Let's see this. I'm taking you to Ephesians chapter 3 verse 18. Watch this. This is going to change your life. If you can embrace this, it will change your life. Watch this. Ephesians 3:18. Listen to what it says. It says that you may be able, listen to this, to comprehend with all saints what is the breadth and length and depth and height. Now, let me tell you why this stood out to me. Now, here's your homework. For those of you who are like me, thank you, Nelly, for throwing the verse in. Thank you, Henry, for saying life application. For those of you who are like me, if you're a Bible student, if you're someone who reads the Bible, you believe in the Bible, here's your homework. Go read the whole of Ephesians 3 so you have the context, okay? Because this is live streaming, okay? I'm not going to be reading the whole context for you. I want you to do that for yourself if you're that way persuaded, if you're like me. Now, if you're not like me and you're not into reading the Bible, let me just break it down for you. The life application, even if you don't want the biblical interpretation. But for those of you who are like me, go read the whole of Ephesians 3. Get the life application and the biblical interpretation, right? Because that's the best thing to have. All of it, right? I want it all. Now, let me break this down why this is so fascinating. This is fascinating because I thought that life was 3D. I thought life was three-dimensional. And let me tell you something. I shared it with you a moment ago. I'm going to share it again in case you need to pick up your pen. When we look from the wrong dimension, our freedom faces prevention. Samuel, what does that mean? That means if I thought life was three-dimensional and I was trying to look at everything from 3 dimensions, do you understand how my freedom can be put on pause? Because what if life's not 3-dimensional? Then I'm looking from the wrong dimension, and that guarantees my freedom will have prevention. Oh, if someone is literally, like, I feel like someone just got a light bulb right now, and I could be wrong, but if someone literally just got a key takeaway, a light bulb, just write in the comments, that's me. I just want to know if I'm in tune with my people out here, right? If someone got a light bulb when I just said what I said, just write in the comments, that's me. Let's go deeper. If you think life has 3 dimensions and you're looking at everything from 3 dimensions, but life actually has 4 dimensions, this is where the lesson I learned this year, which is going to help you thrive in 2026, is super paramount. What is that lesson? When we look from the wrong dimension, our freedom faces prevention. Some of us are preventing our freedom from being of value to us. Some of us are preventing our freedom from being able to come to us. Some of us are preventing our freedom. I see you, Susan. She says, that's me. Some of us are preventing our freedom from doing what it's supposed to do, getting to us what it's supposed to get to you, because we're looking from the wrong dimension. So our freedom is facing prevention. Our freedom is being slowed down. Our freedom is being turned around. Our freedom is being bound because we're looking at it from the wrong dimension. Samuel, what do you mean? Listen to what Paul said in Ephesians chapter 3, verse 18. He said that you will be able to comprehend. The reason some of us can't comprehend our financial freedom, the reason some of us can't comprehend our relational freedom, the reason why some of us can't comprehend our wealth freedom, health freedom, is because we're looking at the freedom from the wrong dimension. So as a result, our freedom is facing prevention. It's being prevented from coming to you. Some of you are going to know what I'm talking about in a moment. In Daniel, I believe it's Daniel chapter 3, the Bible talks about Daniel praying and the angel saying to him, the moment you prayed, I was on my way, but I was held up. I was prevented. The freedom, the answer to your prayer was prevented from getting to you. And he explains that this is what had to happen. This is what I had to do in order to get to you. I was prevented from getting to you. It took the angel 21 days to bring the answer to Daniel, even though the angel says, and guys, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, go search this out, go check this out, go find out for yourself. The angel said, you prayed and instantly I started coming. Some of us have prayed for breakthrough. Guess what? Instantly the answer started coming. But let me tell you what the problem is. We were looking from the wrong dimension. So we caused our answer or our freedom to face prevention. It hasn't been able to come because we're looking at things from the wrong dimension. We're looking from the wrong lens. We don't understand that we have to sow a seed to get what we need. So guess what? We don't sow a seed. We don't realize that every tree is evidence that in order to have exponential growth, you have to have incremental investment. None of us realize that. None of us realize that we put a seed in, we get a tree out. None of us realize that. None of us realize that these are principles in the Bible which help us move further faster in our future. And if we don't use them, guess what happens? We lose them. If we don't use them, guess what happens? We abuse them. I'm here to tell you today, if you want to transition out of strife, if you want to transition through, survive, and you want to spend 2026 in a zone where you are going to thrive, all you need to do is start looking through the right dimension so that your freedom will no longer have prevention. If someone's hearing what I'm saying today, just throw in the comments the words, I am. And straight after you do that, I'm going to break this down for you guys in a way that's going to be super helpful, especially for those of you who can see the doodles online. This is going to hopefully be super helpful for you, all right? Because all I'm going to do is I'm just going to share with you what these words actually mean. And as I share with you what these words mean, guess what? Everything's going to start to unlock, okay? So that's the objective right now. Unpacking this so you guys can see how this is going to work for you, okay? So let's start jumping into it. Ephesians chapter 3, I'm in verse 18. Ephesians chapter 3, I'm in verse 18. What did Paul say? Paul said, I want you to be able to understand. What do you want me to understand, Paul? I want you to understand the dimensions. Henry says, I am. Nelly says, I am. Okay, let's go. Ephesians chapter 3, verse 18. Watch this. Paul says that you may be able to comprehend. So that means if there's something I need to comprehend how to become financially free. I need to comprehend how to have success with my family. I need to comprehend how to have health freedom, how to have wealth freedom. If there's something I need to comprehend, guess what? This is what Paul says. He says that you may be able to comprehend with all the saints. That means with all the other winners, with all the other people that have been able to comprehend. Watch this. What is the breadth and length and depth and height? Now, here's my question. How many dimensions did Paul say just there? Okay, I see Hemery sent a rose. Thank you, Hemery. I love that. Let's go. And guys, I don't know how TikTok works. You guys know I tell you that all the time. But if you want to throw badges in, if you want to throw likes in, do your thing. Guys, look, we're at 7,000 likes. Let's get to 10,000 likes. Let's just do what we got to do. Let's do what we got to do. Let's go. All right? And guys, for those of you who don't know, the reason why I promote you guys hitting the like on TikTok is because I heard the more likes you get on the live, the more TikTok sends it to other people like you to help them get this same message through. All right? And the same, if you're on YouTube and you're watching this and you're getting value, guys, you know what to do. Hit share. Share this video with your community. Go share this in your favorite WhatsApp group. Tell them, guys, listen, something I Can Win is breaking down the thing. You need some of this. If you're on Facebook, you're getting value. Post this on your page. Share this. Instagram, you know what to do. I don't even know what to do on Instagram. You know what to do. Let's go deeper. Ephesians chapter 3 verse 18, Paul says that you may be able to comprehend with all the saints what is the breadth and length and depth and height. Someone told me in the chat, how many dimensions did Paul just say? Because I told you already, the issue for me is I thought that we were living in a world with 3 dimensions. I thought we were living in a world with 3 dimensions. Oh, look at this. This is, guys, you guys touch my heart. Guys, I don't know what is happening in TikTok, but I'm telling you, I'm so grateful that I decided to go and get a TikTok account, because TikTok, they've got a different energy for human beings. Literally, Hemery sends a rose. Nelly shared the live instantly. Like, thank you guys. Thank you guys for serving the other people who need to hear this by sharing this so that they can hear this. I appreciate you guys. Nelly, I appreciate you. Hemery, I appreciate you. All of you guys on the live. Nana, I appreciate you. Guys, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you on behalf of the people that are going to hear this, that needed to hear this, that they wouldn't have heard this if you didn't share this. I appreciate you. Let's go. So someone throw in the chat, how many dimensions did Paul say, right? Because I thought we were living in 3 dimensions. So because I thought we were living in 3 dimensions, guess what I did? I would look from a position of 3 dimensions. Okay? Let's go. Hemery says, no problem, God bless. Let's go. All right? So let me start breaking it down because I want you guys to see this. Paul doesn't say, Samuel's right, there's 3 dimensions. Paul didn't say that. Let's rub this out. Paul didn't say that. Paul said, he uses another number. Okay? I'm going to show you what Paul says. Paul says that you will be able to comprehend what is the breadth. That's the first dimension he talks about, the breadth. He then says, what is the length? That's the second dimension he speaks about. What is the length? So you've got breadth and length. He then says, what is the depth? That's the third dimension he talks about. So we've got breadth, we've got length, we've got depth. And I shared it with you before. I'm going to say it again in case you need to pick up your pen. Watch this. When we look from the wrong dimension, we put our freedom in prevention. Paul didn't say there's 3 dimensions to figure out your finances with. He didn't say there's 3 dimensions to figure out your life with. He didn't say there's 3 dimensions to figure out your health, your wealth, your relationships with. He said, when you deal with comprehension, my prayer is that you and all the saints will have an understanding of the breadth, of the length, of the depth, and of the height. Some of us have been attempting to become free by only focusing on free. Paul says, in order for you to comprehend, you have to focus on more, because the dimensions he's talking about are at least 4. Someone throw the number 4 in the chat. Guys, listen, guys, I hope someone is literally getting the revelation that God wants for them right now. If you are looking at your freedom thinking it's 3D, but it's actually 4D, if you look with the wrong dimension, your freedom faces prevention. Let's break this down. What do these words mean? What do these words mean? I'm going to tell you what these words mean, okay? Susan, I see you. Susan throws 4 in the chat. Let's go, all right? Let me show you what these words mean. I want you guys to have an understanding, right? Because some of us, we don't know what these words mean because we learn English. And guys, I'm going to tell you something. If you haven't heard this before, English is my first language, okay? I'm going to be honest. I'm not trying to insult the English language, but I want you to understand, English is a lazy language. It makes up words so that it doesn't have to embody meaning. So sometimes you have to go back into the Hebrew. Sometimes you have to go back into the Greek. Sometimes you have to go back into the Latin in order to understand what is going on here. So what was Paul saying? I'm going to tell you what he was saying. The word breadth is actually the word platos. Okay? Platos. Platos means breadth. It also means time. Someone write the word time in the chat. Okay? Live with Jesus throws in the clap. Let's go. Let's go. Welcome Live with Jesus. Live with Jesus. Let me know what your name is, please. I'm old school. So even on TikTok, I call people by their name. So let me know your name, please. Right? So breadth speaks of the word platos. Platos is breadth. It means time. Someone throw the word time in the chat. Let's go deeper. Length is a word mekos. M-E-K-O-S. Mekos. Mekos speaks about length or how long something is. Some of us have been focused on how long it will take to change our finances. Some of us have been focused on how long it will take to find the spouse. Some of us have been focused on how long it will take to find the house. Mekos. Okay? One of the words that Paul is using. He's saying that you have to understand the 4 dimensions in order to comprehend. The first one he says is the platos, the time, the breadth. The second one he says is the mekos, the length, how long. Let's go deeper. Okay? The third one, depth, is actually a word called bathos. This is talking about how deep something is, the depth of something. You see, some of us, Monica, welcome Monica to the live. I see you. Wow, Hemery. Nelly says time. Hemery. Hemery says, for me, English is my 5th language. Hemery, I am honored. I'm honored to have you literally even on the live. Let's go. Hemery, please let us know what the other languages are. Out of curiosity, I'm just a very curious person, so I'm interested, all right? And Monica, welcome to the live. Let's go deeper. So, Paul says to us, listen, I want you to be able to comprehend, understand what's going on in your life. But in order to comprehend with all of the other saints, you have to understand the 4 dimensions. What are the 4 dimensions? It's not just how long it takes. It's not just how deep it is. Because this is what some of us do. Some of us have been living in 3 dimensions. We want the information. We want to know how deep it is to become financially free. We want to know the depth of how it works. But we don't understand it's not about how deep it is. Depth is just the bathos. It's one element. How long it takes is just the mekos. It's one element. Oh, I hope this is helping someone. Then he says the height. Now the height is actually a word that is known as the hupsos. Paul is saying, Henry says, okay, let's go. Henry, they're loving you in the chat. They're blowing up. Bravo. Nelly says, let's go. So guys, I want you to understand this. Paul is saying to you, you're not going to understand how to comprehend the things you want to comprehend by understanding 3 dimensions. It takes at least 4 dimensions. And then he tells us what these 4 dimensions are. He says the first dimension is the breadth. We know that to be the platos. The second dimension is the length. We know that to be the mekos. The third dimension is the depth. We know that to be the bathos. And then the third dimension is the height. We know that to be the hupsos. Now, why is this so important? I'm going to tell you why this is so important. This is important because some of us have been striving or surviving because we've been looking at things from the wrong dimension. We've only been looking at things thinking about how long does this take? How long is it going to be? We've only been looking at things asking, how deep do I have to go? We've only been looking at things thinking, how high do I have to climb? We haven't been looking at what happens with my time if I decide to invest in this. Because I hear people say this all the time. Time is money, time is money, time is money. We recently just finished our 5-day cash flow creation week. One of the students wrote in the chat during the 5 days of the training, time is money. And I had to say, no, time is not money. Time is not money. Paul never mentioned money in those 4. Your time is infinitely more valuable than your money. If you don't understand that, if you don't believe that, if you're not sure about that, let me help you right now. How do I know your time is more valuable than your money? Because if I said to you that you're only going to have the next 16 minutes to live, but inside of your bank account, you have 14 million pounds. And I said to you, if you pay a surgeon 13.9 million pounds, if you pay a surgeon 13,999,999 pounds, all of your wealth except, I'm sure I've got a coin here, except £1. If you pay a surgeon every pound you have except for your last one, so that your life does not end in 16 minutes, who would pay? If you'd pay, just write the word pay in the chat. Okay? If you would pay, just write the word pay in the chat. If you're saying to me, Samuel, if I had 16 minutes to live and I had 14 million pounds in my bank account, I would pay every single pound except my last pound so that my life would not end in 16 minutes. If you would pay, just write the word pay in the chat. Let's see. Nelly's already written it. Pay. Let's go. Henry says, Eritrean, Ethiopian, Italian, Arabic, and English. Amazing. Henry, that is amazing. Let's go. So let's see who's going to pay. Oh, look, there we go. Nana says, I'm going to pay. Susan says, I'm going to pay. Nelly said, I'm going to pay. Let me tell you why you're all going to pay. You're all going to pay because you are smart enough to know that your time is infinitely more valuable than your money. Your time you can never get back. Your money, ladies and gentlemen, you can get back. Now, guys, I wanted to do this live as we wrap up 2025 for you guys to understand how you can begin to thrive and no longer have to just survive. Now, a few things are happening in our coaching world, which I want to make you aware of in the next 3 minutes. The first one is that our roundtable coaching program is increasing in price on the 24th of December. We are going from a £50,000 investment to a £55,000 investment. Now, if someone is tuned into this live and you're saying, Samuel, you know what, I want to be in that room, just write the word room in the chat and I can show you how you can apply to be considered as one of the people on that program. The second thing that's happening is we wrapped up yesterday our cash flow creation week. This is our 5-day training that we deliver to help you move further, faster with your finances. Now, if you've been on this live and you're saying, Samuel, you know what? I need that value. I want to see how I can shift my finances so I can genuinely thrive. I can have the application. I can have the transformation. If that is something of interest to you, that investment is less than £500, guys. I'm going to encourage you to go to the site cashflowcreationchallenge.com and go get yourself registered for our January class. Okay? Our January class. That is going to help you move further, faster in your future. I don't know if I've got a link for that. Maybe I've got a link for that because I know on Instagram they like links and QR codes and all of those things. All right? Let me see if we've got a link for that because that might help you guys as well. Okay? Is that a QR code? Yes. There we go. All right? So if you're joining us on Facebook or if you're joining us on Instagram or if you're joining us on YouTube, it's right there. Okay? Wow. Nelly has come with the languages as well. Nelly says, for me, it's Bembe, Congo, Lingala, French, English, and Italian. German, no more. Okay, German was hard. All right, let's go. I'm loving this. Let's go. I have a multilingual audience, guys, and it's exciting me. Let's go. So, guys, for those of you who want to be a part of our upcoming Cash Flow Creation Week, the next training is in January. Get yourself locked in. Take a screenshot of this page right now, scan the QR code that side, and get yourself secured on the next Cash Flow Creation Week, all right? If you're joining us on Instagram, the link is here, okay? It's up instead of to the side. Scan the QR code, join us, and let's see you at the top and not from the top. Now, before I wrap up, I'm going to take key takeaways. Guys, Key takeaways. Key takeaways. Nelly says, can you repeat the link, please? The link is cashflowcreationchallenge.com. Just for you, Nelly. I'm going to write that inside of the TikTok world. I think the link is in my bio, or you can go to Instagram and get the link in my bio as well. But let me write it, Cashflow Creation Challenge.com. Okay, so guys, we're going to take key takeaways. What key takeaways do you have? What key takeaways do you have? What stood out to you about what we shared today that you are going to be able to use to move further, faster in your future? I'm going to pin the comment because Henry's also written about writing it down. All right, so the link is in the chat. All right, the link is in the chat in TikTok. Let's go. And for my people in TikTok, all right, the link is in the chat and it's pinned. For my people in TikTok, let me know what your key takeaway was from today. What stood out to you? What lesson did you hear and you know is going to help you thrive, not just survive, and definitely not strive in 2026 going forward? Let's go. Henry says, thank you so much. You are most welcome. You are most welcome, Henry. It's a pleasure and it's an honor to be able to add value to people from all over the planet. My people, my people. All right. So those of you on YouTube, those of you on Facebook, those of you on Instagram, throw inside of the comments your key takeaway. What stood out to you the most from what we've shared in today's session? What stood out to you the most? What literally helped you, as Jim Rohn would say, go every which way but loose? What stood out to you the most? We'll give you guys a few minutes to throw your key takeaways in. We'll give you guys a few minutes to throw your key takeaways in. Lovely. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And for those of you who need the link, QR code is on the screen, cashflowcreationchallenge.com. Next training is in January. Get your seat booked now. And for everyone who gets their seat booked now from this environment, from this live we're doing, I'm going to give you a secret additional bonus for you to start using from now. Okay? So anyone who's securing your seat on the Cashflow Creation Week and you're saying, Samuel, I'm locked in. I've just got my seat. If that's you, straight after you've got your seat, just write in the comments locked in, and I'm going to give you an additional bonus, absolutely free, just for being an action taker. Why? Because action takers are money makers, all right? And that's the same for my people on TikTok as well. If you're locking in your seat on the Cashflow Creation Week, if you join the Cashflow Creation Challenge from the link I've shared here, for your seats in January, I'll be giving you a additional bonus prize. Let's go. All right, key takeaways. Susan throws her key takeaway in. She said, applied, organized information equals transformation. I love that. Fantastic key takeaway. Fantastic key takeaway. Let's go, guys. TikTok, Instagram, all of the other platforms, Facebook. Let's get those key takeaways in, guys. Whatever key takeaways you have, throw them in, throw them in, throw them in, so we can make sure that we are able to work with them. Let's get those key takeaways in before we wrap up. And if there's no key takeaways, guys, just use what I've shared with you. Okay, one of the things I found out recently is TikTok, when we go live, oh wow, Henry just helped me see it. We actually hit the 10,000 likes on TikTok. Let's go. TikTok family, I love you guys. This is literally amazing. 10,800 likes on TikTok. Let's go. All right. So guys, those of you who are, what was I saying now? What was I saying now? There we go. All right, we're going to wrap up anyway. If you've got more key takeaways, absolutely amazing. That's it. I recently found out that TikTok doesn't save any of the lives. It doesn't keep the lives up. And this was part of the reason why I made the commitment to get even more serious on YouTube this year. So this live that we've just done is on YouTube, and there is no plan to take down the recording, okay? So whatever platform you're on, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. I don't want people to move to different platforms to engage with me, all right? If you're on TikTok, I love you guys on TikTok. I want you to stay on TikTok. If you're on Instagram, I love you guys on Instagram. I want you to stay on Instagram. If you're on YouTube, I love you guys on YouTube. I want you to stay on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, I love you guys on Facebook. I want you to stay on Facebook. We are working in the back end of our team to get the technology so that the TikTok family can get everything that everyone else gets. They can see the QR codes. They can see the links. They can see everything, right? They can see everything. Let's even do a quick poll. right? Because this is the stuff we can do here, which we can't do over there, right? So here's the question, right? Quick poll. Throw in the chat if you got value in the session. If you got value, just write the word yes in the chat. Okay, if you got value in this session, whatever platform you're on, just throw the word yes in the chat. If you got value, substantial value. If you're in this live and you're saying, you know what, Samuel, this was valuable, okay, just throw the word yes in the chat so we can see that. All right, so just so you know, we're working on the technology in the back end so that our TikTok family can join us and they can see the polls, they can see the QR codes, they can see the comments, they can see all the stuff that we bring up on the system. But the point I'm making is, regardless of which platform you're on, regardless of how you get through, regardless of the content that you're seeing, guys, I'm here for you. I want to help you guys move further, faster in your future. Susan, I see your yes. Let's go. All right. So it looks like the poll's not taking all the answers in. All right. Nana says value. Let's go. All right. Let's go. All right. But usually the polls are always working. They're taking in the answers, the responses that you guys throw in the chat as well. So I want you guys to understand, right? We are here for you. We're here to help you guys move further, faster in your future. But we can't do that on our own. We need your help as well. This is why I'm encouraging you guys to share the content if the content's valuable. That's why I'm encouraging you guys to make your declarations, because your declarations are what shift you from procrastination and hesitation into elevation. Okay? So with that being said, guys, we're going to wrap up today's live. I pray you guys have got tons of value. I thank you for your key takeaways that you shared. All I'm going to encourage you to do is do not leave 2025 as someone who's only going to survive. Do not leave 2025 as someone who is still going to strive. I would love for you to leave 2025 as someone who has decided to thrive. This is Something I Can Win. I'm signing out. Good day. God bless. I love you guys, and I look forward to seeing you at the top and not from the top, because small keys open big doors. Let's go.